Hello dear, welcome to my channel. So in this video we are going to learn the poem Goblin Market by Christina Rossetti, and today we will start from stanza 14 onwards, okay, because in the last video we have done till stanza 13. So in this video we will learn from stanza 14. Okay, so let's start. Day after day, night after night, Laura kept watch in vain, in sullen silence of exceeding pain. So, after that day, after her eating the fruits from the goblin men, days passed, nights passed, but Laura was still watching so that if she can actually spy or she can actually find these goblin men to buy the fruits. Okay, so day by day her pain, her angst was actually increasing. Okay, so in the next lines, she never caught again the goblin cry, come by, but that was completely in vain. She never heard the goblins again. She never spied the goblin men hawking their fruits along the glen. So she had gone to the brook, but at that time she cannot find these goblin men and neither their fruits. But when the noon waxed bright, her hair grew thin and grey. So with time her hair started to become pale completely. It was thinning out, and as a result of eating that fruit, actually her golden complexion of the hair completely turns out to be grey. Okay, so this was actually, we can say, grey here becomes the symbol of actually lawlessness or impurity, or we can say falling from some virtues. Okay, so in the next lines, she dwindled as the fair full moon doth turn to swift decay and burn her fire away. So as a result, this can be compared, these turning from the golden color to the gray color, actually this can be compared to the decaying of the moon from the phase the full moon to the new moon. Actually when the moon is going towards the new moon, the full moon is going towards the new moon, we can see that there is a continuous decay, and that can be found too in the case of Laura. Okay, so in the next stanza, one day remembering her kernel stone. So one day she remembered that she had kernel stone, a seed with her. So she set it by a wall that faced the south. Dewed it with tears, hoped for a root, watched for a waxing shoot, but there came none. So she actually put this in the ground and give the water of her tears. Actually she had not applied tears, but fed this seed with her tears. Actually she was waiting restlessly and was weeping for the plant, for the sapling to grow. Okay, so in the next lines, it never saw the sun, but it never came out. The shoot never came out. It never felt the trickling moisture run. It didn't understand the trickling moisture run, that means the tears of Laura, while the sunk eyes and faded mouth. So her eyes was completely sunk because she actually had cried a lot, and faded mouth, her face, her countenance was completely faded, completely gloomy, actually we can say. She dreamed of melons as the traveler sees false waves in desert drought. So actually she had thought of these melons, of these grapes, of these pears and different types of exotic fruits as very much like the traveler who is actually lost in a hot desert and can see the mirage there, okay, in the form of oasis, we can say. So in the next lines, with shade of leaf crowned trees and burns the thirstier in the sandful breeze. So however, so she is compared to the lost traveler who is completely lost in a hot desert and is going towards death. Actually she no more swept the house, tended the fowls or cows, fetched honey, kneaded cakes of wheat, brought water from the brook, but sat down listless in the chimney nook and would not eat. So whatever the works, whatever the household chores she used to do before, she is not doing this now, like sweeping the house or tending the fowls and cows, fetching the honey or kneading the wheat, and several other household chores. Okay, she was not actually interested in doing this. In the next stanza, tender Lizzie could not bear to watch her sister's cankerous care, yet not to share. So tender Lizzie, that means very soft-hearted Lizzie, cannot bear this, cannot tolerate this. What? No, her sister's cankerous care, her sister's ulcerous condition, we can say, or illness, or something that is very much bad. Actually, we already know that she is going through a bad stage, and this cannot be tolerated by her sister Lizzie. But she was completely helpless because she cannot share that. She night and morning caught the goblin's cry. On the other hand, she can hear this goblin's cry, "Come buy our orchard fruits, come buy, come buy." She can, as she had not eaten these fruits, so she can hear the goblin's cry, but her sister was unable to hear this cry. Okay, in the next lines, beside the brook along the glen she heard the tramp of goblin men. The yoke and steer poor Laura could not hear, longed to buy fruit to comfort her, but feared to pay too dear. So actually, whenever she had went to the brook, to the glen, she can hear them, hear these goblin men, but at the same time we can say she just wished to buy that fruit from these goblin men to comfort Laura, but she cannot do that because she is afraid, she is terrified that she has to pay too dear a thing, that is her life. Okay, so she cannot buy that. She thought of Ginny in her grave. So whenever she was thinking about buying that fruit from these goblins, she thought of Ginny, that she is already in her grave, who should have been a bride. She must have the qualities, must have the tendencies, must have the will to become a bride, but who for joys brides hope to have. That means she had some hopes. Actually, the brides, the newly wedded brides, have some hope that they can enjoy their lives, okay, after marriage. So Ginny actually wanted to have that, but without marriage, she had that, she had experienced that. So we can say that there is something erotic that has been done between Ginny and these goblin men, and C.G. Rossetti had just hinted this. Okay, so the very thing can be happened to Laura also, we can say. So, fell sick and died in her gay prime in earliest winter time. So, when she was in her prime, she was in her topmost position of life, we can say, she completely passed away, completely died, completely washed away from the history of life. So, in earliest winter time, with the first glazing rime, with the first snowfall of crisp winter time. So when winter was setting in, she passed away. Till Laura, dwindling, seemed knocking at death's door. Then Lizzie weighed no more, better and worse. So when Laura was actually dwindling, she was completely thinning out, completely ill, and we can see that Laura was very near to death's door. Then Lizzie cannot wait. She cannot actually think what is good or what is bad. She cannot weigh between this good or bad or better or worse. So one day, what happened? No, but put a silver penny in her purse, kissed Laura, crossed the heath with clumps of firs, at twilight halted by the brook, and for the first time in her life began to listen and look. So she just kissed Laura, crossed the heathen land that is full of clumps of firs, and at twilight she stopped near the brook where these goblin men can be found. Okay, so she started to listen to these goblin men, their cries that come by. Okay, loved every goblin when they spied her peeping. So she was peeping, Lizzie was peeping for these goblin men, and seeing this, the goblins started laughing with each other. They are leering, actually, we can say. The word you may remembered from the previous parts, that they were leering, they were actually exchanging some wanton looks among themselves. Okay, came towards her, hobbling, flying, running, leaping, puffing and blowing, chuckling, clapping, crowing, clucking and gobbling, mopping and mowing. So, several types of means while they were coming towards Lizzie. Some of them were running, some of them were flying, some of them were chuckling, clapping, crowing, and different types of things. Okay, so full of airs and graces, pulling wry faces. So actually they were making faces. Demure grimaces, cat-like and rat-like, rattle and wombat-like, snail-paced in a hurry, parrot-voiced and whistler, helter-skelter, hurry-scurry, chattering like magpies. So actually CG Rossetti is describing their coming towards Lizzie. Are actually, we can say, different types of faces. We have already mentioned that they have different types of faces, and while they were coming, they were making faces towards Lizzie. Okay, so they were chattering like the magpies, the birds, fluttering like pigeons, and gliding like fishes. So they are very much huge in number, we can say. Hugged her and kissed her, squeezed and caressed her, stretched up their dishes, panniers, and plates. So they came towards Lizzie, they hugged her, they kissed her, and started squeezing her and caressing her. Okay, stretching up their dishes, then they stretched up their dishes of fruits and offered Lizzie some of their marvelous, exotic, magical fruits. Okay, look at our apples, russet and done. So look at the apples that is brownish, reddish brown in color. Bob at our cherries, bite our peaches. So take a bite of these peaches, of these juicy peaches. Citrons and dates, grapes for asking, pears red with basking out in the sun. So these grapes are very much tasty. These citrons and dates are also tasty, and these pears are very much red because this was ripened in the sun. Plums on their twigs, pluck them and suck them. Pomegranates, figs. So different types of fruits are there that you can enjoy. Good folk, said Lizzie. So then Lizzie started talking. She is addressing them as good folk, as gentlemen, mindful of Jenny. But she had at the same time the thinking about Jenny, what happened to Jenny. She can actually remember that. Give me much and many. Held out her apron. So she spreaded her apron and asked for the fruits. Give me much and many. Tossed them her penny. But she is not ready to do this exchange without anything. She had already bought a silver penny and she tossed this penny towards them. Nay, take a seat with us, honor and eat with us. So these goblins started talking that, no, 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 we don't want money. Just sit and eat with us. They answered, grinning. They actually started grinning, smiling in a bad way, we can say. Our feast is but beginning. So our feast is just started. You must not go now. You must enjoy our party. Night yet is early, warm and dew partly, wakeful and starry. Such fruits as these no man can carry. So these fruits cannot be found anywhere because no man can sell that. Half their bloom would fly, half their dew would dry, half their flavor would pass by. Sit down and feast with us. Be welcome guest with us. Cheer you and rest with us. So they are actually asking Lizzie to be with them, to be seated with them, and to enjoy the party, so that they can actually deceive her. They can actually seduce her. Okay. Thank you, said Lizzie. But Lizzie is very much smart. She is very much intelligent, and she is already at the same time is very much thoughtful about what happened with Ginny, and that is why she said thank you. But one waits at home alone for me. She said that one is waiting for me. That means Laura is waiting for her at home. She was completely alone. So without further parleying, without further discussion, if you will not sell me any of your fruits, though much and many, though you have much and many fruits with you, if you don't want to sell that, give me back my silver penny. So turn that silver penny to me. I don't want to buy that fruit. If you don't want to sell that fruit, then how can I buy that? So give me my money back. I tossed you for a fee. I have already paid you off. No longer wagging, purring, but visibly demurring. So now they have stopped completely wagging and purring that actually they were doing. So they, now we can say that there is something, or the evil is becoming very much clear to in their faces. Okay, grunting and snarling, one called her proud, cross-grained, uncivil. Their tones waxed loud, their looks were evil. So the evil that is actually in between them, in themselves, that started to come up. They talked of Lizzie as if she is very much of bad culture. Actually, Lizzie is not submissive to these goblins, and that is why they started abusing her. They are talking, they said that Lizzie is very much uncivil, very much proud, and they are just increasing their tones. Okay, so lashing their tails, they trod and hustled her. So they are started. So these goblin men have started hustling, bustling, elbowed and jostled her. They elbowed. They hit Lizzie with their elbow and started jostling with her. Clawed with their nails. They scratched Lizzie with their nails. Barking, mewing, hissing, mocking, tore her gown and soiled her stocking. So they actually tore her gown. That means they attacked her and soiled her stockings. Her leggings were completely soiled. Twitched her hair out by the roots. They pulled her hair, stamped upon her tender feet, held her hands and squeezed their fruits against her mouth to make her eat. So they are actually trying to let Lizzie eat that fruit so that they can actually do that magic over Lizzie too. Okay. So in the next stanza, white and golden Lizzie stood like a lily in a flood, like a rock of blue veined stone lashed by tides obstreperously, like a beacon left alone in a hoary roaring sea, sending up a golden fire like a fruit crowned orange tree, white with blossoms honey sweet, sore beset by wasp and bee. So here are very nice, we can say, very pretty examples, pretty similes that actually used by C.G. Rossetti to describe the condition of Lizzie. She is completely alone amongst the terrible goblins. She is compared to the blue vein stone, or we can say lily in a flood, or the single beacon, single light in a roaring sea. And we can say that she is very much like the white orange fruit that is attacked by these wasp and bees. Okay, like a royal virgin town, topped with gilded dome and spire, close beleaguered by a fleet, mad to tug her standard down. So here there is another comparison. Actually, she is compared here with a virgin town, with a city that is attacked by some foreigners, and they sometime had tried to soil this city, or we can say to bring the standard of this city down. So very much like that town, very much like that city, actually she is completely alone amongst these villains, among these satanic forces, we can say. So here I am stopping today. Hope this will be of help. If this helps you, then please give it a like, and the next part of this poem will be done in the next segment. So till then, bye.